Hey friends, this is T again with another reaction video, and today we're going to be doing a reaction on The Critical Drinker, The Boys Season 4, How to Destroy Your Audience. Now I've been watching The Critical Drinker for a long period of time, right? But this is the first time, which is a surprise to me, that I'm doing a reaction to it. I normally do it on Nerdrotic or Emergency Awesome or something like that, but today I'm doing it on The Critical Drinker, and he's very funny too. And what it's about is The Boys Season 4. Now I just started watching The Boys. I just got Prime Video, and I've been watching The Fallout, and now I'm starting on The Boys, and I'm really excited because it's really good. So I'm still in season 1, but I'm loving this show, right? But I've been hearing rumors that they've been screwing up the Boys, which you didn't think they would do, but now they're starting to do it. Now, what the formula is to get you hooked. First, you loving the first season, maybe the second season, and then they'll do the third or fourth season when they start slipping in political stuff. This isn't by accident. It's not lazy writers. It's not losing their focus. They're starting to get political again, and they're just trying to figure out a way to be able to slip this stuff in. The first thing they was doing is an experiment, but now it's like they're really trying to figure out now how to get you to accept the things that they want you to accept. But we can get a little bit more into this. But before we do, please like, subscribe, and share this video. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. That way you know whenever we come out with new videos, okay? All right, let's get started. All right, now we're talking about The Boys in season 4. Now, I was mentioning at the beginning of the video that they're making the changes. They're trying to adapt to us. They're trying to get us to love it because they need that money. They know they can't survive. They thought they could, but now they realize they can't survive without our money. So they're going to try to make us love this stuff. So they, like I said, they're going to get you hooked on the first or second season or something until they feel like you can't bail on it now. So then they'll start slipping in their little political stuff. I had a feeling they was going to do that anyway, because that's how they do. They test things to see the way that they can make you change your mind and start loving this stuff, or at the least accept it. Okay, so that's what they're doing. And this is the funny part. They were doing it just to the men at first, right? But it seems they're now doing it to the women. Okay, I don't know if you heard of this thing called Bridgerton. Now, I know about it, but I don't watch it. That's a woman stuff, one of those novel type movies, love stories back in the 1800s or whatever time frame it was. But either way, you know, women was always saying, I don't know why you complaining about it. There's nothing wrong with it, you know, because they were doing it to our Star Wars and doing it to our Marvel movies and things. So we was getting hot under the collar, and they was wondering why, you know, because of the patriarchy and all this other stuff. They was like, we don't understand why y'all so mad about this. You know, they was criticizing us basically for getting pissed. But now it happened to them, okay? Now they've been really into these shows, the Bridgerton. They've been really into it. But they seem to be like looking for a particular relationship. I guess one of the daughters or whatever is supposed to get into this particular relationship, according to the books. Okay, this show is based off a novel, and I guess this one particular sister or something supposed to meet this particular guy, and I guess they start a relationship. And a lot of the women that read the novels were really looking forward to this, right? But what they did now was, not only did they turn the character black, but they turned it into a female. And now it's a lesbian relationship. And the women are pissed. Pissed. See, what's good for the goose isn't good for the gander, okay? They was okay when it was happening to us. But now it finally happened to them, okay? So much so that even Brett Cooper had to speak on it, okay? Just check out this video. You know what I'm talking about.
One of the Bridgerton family's sisters gets married, and then she suffers the loss of her husband. And in the books, she falls madly in love with her deceased husband's cousin, and then they subsequently deal with infertility, which becomes a pivotal plot point for her character. Well, all of that has now been thrown out the window because in the final moments of season 3, which just came out on Netflix, they decided to make this male cousin, named Michael, into Michaela. Imagine that.
How original.
And so now, guys, it is rumored to become a lesbian love story. Just watch this.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce
Michaela Sterling. And you must be?
Oh.
I am.
She's verklempt.
Dearest, gentle reader,
Sparks
I
flying.
find myself suddenly at a loss for words.
And already, guys, within 24 hours of this episode coming out, there were fan edits about them, Taylor Swift songs overlaid with her reaction. It's a love story. Oh my goodness, it's so incredible.
Considerable margin. And
Apparently, that was a small minority of people that were excited about this, because the majority of the comments sound like this. I just realized this right now. Please don't. Another person said, why would Michael be a woman? I'll probably not watch her season. They should have just created another character and not change Michael.
All right, did you see that? Now the women are pissed off about it. Like I say, man, when it was just happening to us, they didn't give a crap about it. They didn't care. But now that it's happening to them, they're very upset. So now, what goes around comes around. It's like, y'all can laugh at us all you want, but everything that's happening to the men and the fans and all of us is going to eventually spill over to the women too. And for some reason, women don't seem to understand that. They don't. But like I say, they're making an effort to try to make you accept all kind of stuff. And they're using television to do it. But it's not surprising. This is not new. That's why they call it programming, right? So to program you, to get you to think a certain way on how you look at the world, right? That's what they do. It's not surprising, right? But a lot of the times it's in your face. I prefer the times I didn't realize I was getting programmed, okay? That way I was able to enjoy the show or the movie. But now it's so much in your face now that you're not able to really get into it, because then the characters that you love so much that you was going through all these seasons with, all of a sudden start to act out of character, basically. And that's what kills it. Because like, for example, Homelander, right? He acted a certain way. I love the way he acted. But when he flew into the Gen V thing and started doing stuff, and they made him kind of weak, because when he used his heat vision, he should have burnt her alive, but he didn't. Why did he hold back? You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's something in the show that explains that. Who knows, right? But they start to change the character in the stories, and that what messes up. Okay, so just like in the Bridgerton, they completely changed that character. They never even gave you a chance to love that character. They just freaking changed it all of a sudden. And then this woman see this other woman who never had these behaviors before, all of a sudden just fall in love out of sight. But who knows? I don't watch that show. I have no clue about those characters. I don't know what's going on with that. But either way it goes, a lot of people that was loving season 4, The Boys, they love this show. They love it. But now it's like everything else that you love, they look for a reason to destroy it. They always do. And from my understanding, they only going to do 5 seasons of this. Maybe this is a good thing that they're going to end it now. Because when I first heard that they was going to stop at 5, I was like, a little bit disappointed, right? I was hoping that they made more. But now that they doing this kind of stuff to it, I don't even care. I don't even care. I'm going to enjoy it as much as I can watch. Other than that, I don't really give a crap. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, it is what it is. But I wanted to see what the Critical Drinker has to say about this. And I'm really looking forward to it because this guy's really funny. He's really funny. All right. Like I said, I watch his videos all the time whenever I get a chance. I just never did a reaction to it. I might have did one, now that I think about it, a long time ago. But either way it goes, I just wanted to go ahead and see what he got to say. All right. So let's get started.
Comes up pretty regularly on Open Bar these days is, "Drinker, you tough-talking, charismatic gunslinger with a dark past, when are you going to review The Boys Season 4? Ah, The Boys.
Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time.
I used to be a real fan of that show, to the point where I actually gave the first season a Drinker Recommends Awards, and truly, what higher accolade can one bestow upon a work of art these days? Anyway, at a time when the superhero genre was already becoming kind of stale and played out, The Boys came along to completely tear up the rulebook.
Yeah, it was like, watching this, like I said, I seen clips before I saw the whole show, the highlights. It was great. It was great because it was almost like another version of the Super Friends, the evil version. You know what I mean? Like Captain Kirk in Mirror Mirror, he met his evil, counterparts in the other universe or whatever situation it is. But it was fantastic, and I'm loving season 1 right now, loving it. But I noticed that whenever they realize you love something, and at first I was just saying the guys, but now I'm gonna go ahead and include the women into this because now they're doing it to them. Whenever they realize you start to love something, that's when they want to take it over. If it's not making any money, if it's not popular, something like that, they won't even bother. They won't even bother. It's sort of like when they start their own stuff, like the Acolytes, something like that. Nobody gonna watch it, so they're gonna do that, but nobody cares about that, so it's no big deal. They waiting for something to become popular, and that's when they want to go ahead and bogart it and start doing their thing to it. You know what I mean? And then after a while, you're like, eh. So you try to watch it, hoping that they don't do too much of it. Then it start to become hard to swallow, and then after a while, you start not giving a crap. I mean, it's difficult anyway to continuously love a show. There's a lot of shows that I loved at the beginning, but then got bored after a while. But now what they doing, it's just gonna happen faster. You know what I mean? But yeah, everybody was loving this show and was hoping to love it to the end, but they're not gonna allow that.
Funny, violent, irreverent, and wickedly subversive, with a complex and well-written cast of heroes and villains, plus a whole lot of other characters in between, and a story that brutally skewered everything from fake corporate activism to our obsession with celebrity culture, media manipulation, and cultural warfare. It was really everything you could look for in a show like this. I kinda checked out after season 3, partly because I was pretty burned out with superhero stories in general, even shows that subverted the genre, and partly because I could see the way The Boys was heading as a creative property. The complex, nuanced and multifaceted characters were slowly morphing into simplified parodies of themselves. The central storyline was becoming trite and predictable, and the bitingly witty satire was becoming more overt and partisan with every season, parroting the same predictable talking points as every other Hollywood product. Basically,
Yeah, it's always like they always preaching to you. Always got to make a point about something. All you want to do is be entertained. Now I don't mind to think when I'm watching a show or a movie. I don't mind thinking about stuff like The Matrix. It makes you thinking about how you see life and things of that sort. I like that. But when they're trying to pull you in a certain direction and make you, they know you don't think this way, but they're trying to make you convert and think some other way. It's like that's their main goal nowadays. It's not even to entertain. It's now just to convert it. And this got to be very boring for the actor. When they know they get on the show and they starting to enjoy it, but then they start to realize, okay, you really starting to pander again and do this kind of stuff. And you now, not only that, you're starting to assault the audience, the people that love the show from the beginning. And now you're basically telling them to kiss your butt because they make all this money. The showrunners, directors, and all these people, producers, they make all this money. And then once they make all this money and they become elites, all of a sudden now it don't matter what you like. You already made us rich. So we don't care. We're just going to experiment and then do all kind of stuff. We both know that don't work and you're not going to like. But we're going to do it anyway because we already made all that money. Just like the Game of Thrones, the last season, people were seriously disappointed in that. They loved the show up to that point. They was really looking forward to the end of the show, hoping they would go out on a good note. But they just disappointed. And they took the two women that they was like promoting the whole time during all these seasons, and women was getting excited about it. And then they turned the one they thought was going to be a hero to somebody evil. So both of them died a stupid, miserable death, and it just ended badly. And Jon Snow got banished, and it was just bad, man. It was bad. And those showrunners didn't care because they made all their money. They were left wing. They didn't give a crap. They probably hated their audience. I'm surprised that it made it that long before they decided to trash it. But from what I hear, was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Who knows, right? But either way it goes, man, they just can't leave these projects alone, man. They got to destroy it, man. It's in their nature now. They got to make it bad. Let's start off something great. Now we're going to get lazy. Now that we're rich, we're going to get lazy and start putting in all this garbage. It's sad.
Basically, The Boys just wasn't cool or interesting anymore. It wasn't fighting the power, it was the power. It wasn't raging against the machine, it was part of it. What was once rebellious, subversive and irreverent had become just another mouthpiece for the safe, corporatized, hollow and performative activism that it once so brutally mocked. So I wasn't exactly brimming with excitement at the prospect of sacrificing another 8 hours of my increasingly limited lifespan for the new season. Frankly, I've got better things to do with my time. But hey, maybe they managed to turn things around. I mean, Stranger Things was drinking at the Last Chance Saloon for me after a disastrously bad season 3, only for the showrunners to listen to fan complaints and come back with an absolute banger of season 4.
See, I like that. I like that. See, after a while, when you learn your lesson and then you do what need to be done to get your audience back, or at least to keep them, then we'll be happy. We're not gonna complain. We're like, okay, you dropped the ball for a little bit. We back on track. Let's continue on that. Keep making the money, right? Does that mean that they're not gonna slip in their little crap here and there? No. But now they starting to adapt, and hopefully will continue to entertain. Maybe everybody could win off of this, but it seems like they can't help themselves. It just seems like they just can't help themselves. They got to be like, oh my goodness, man, the audience loving this too much. We really got to change that. It's insane. But I'm very surprised. Stranger Things, you know, everybody loves Stranger Things. I don't watch it, but everybody seemed to love it now. And the fact that they changed the direction they were going, and I don't think they changed it forever, but I think they coming up at the end of their seasons too, and they're not gonna, you know, do any more seasons. So they're gonna go ahead and probably go out with a bang, hopefully. Because that's the way you should. I mean, just like every other show in the past, they made sure the last season went out with a bang, unless it was just canceled or something like that. But when they decided to end it, they made sure it ended well, that everybody was happy. Like, you know, Friends or the X-Files and all this other stuff. You want to make sure that these people that have been dedicated, waiting for the final moment where the two couples finally get together, the two leads, like the X-Files, or that everybody have a happy ending or something, right? That's what people so much look forward to. But these people act like they hate the audience so much that made them rich that they want to just say, you know what? We rich now. Screw you. It's terrible.
Maybe we'd actually get something similar here. So it was off to Rotten Tomatoes for me to check out the reviews. Not the critic reviews, of course, because nobody in their right mind gives a shit what those fucking shills have got to say about anything anymore. I'm talking about the audience reviews, which is the only semi-reliable barometer for quality these days, and oh. I mean, the audience scores had been gradually declining from an all-time high of 90% in Season 1 to 75% by Season 3, but that's kind of in line with most shows, to be fair. But there's no denying that Season 4 absolutely fell off a cliff. Good lord, I don't think I've seen a fan base turn so hard on any show since Game of Thrones. Look through the reviews and you'll see page after page of absolutely brutal write-ups, all saying basically the same thing.
They hate that. They hate that. If they could just get everybody thing canceled, they would. But they know that YouTube want the money and need the money. So they can't outright just ban everybody because that just ain't gonna work for YouTube. Even YouTube aren't gonna go that far. At least I hope they don't. But they hate this, man. They hate it. They hate us having an opinion about a show they want us to watch. If they could do away with us and then just make all the money they could just from the people that supposedly like this stuff, they would do it. They'd be like, screw y'all, we're going to make this movie, we're making all this money, we're getting rich, we don't need you. Just like when they started with Disney and Star Wars. They were basically telling you, we don't need you. We got all these people and all these women that's going to watch our shows. We don't need y'all male fans. We don't need you at all. But now they realize that, oh yeah, we do need you. We do need you. And as much as they hate you, in the end, they want your money. They're trying to figure out how to get it without you being able to fight back. That's what they want to do. If they could figure that out, they do it. Right now, they can't. They have to go by what you like. And they hate the fact that, you know, they can manipulate, you know, Rotten Tomatoes. That's the rumor I heard. Now, I don't know if this is fact. I just want to put that out there, okay? Because I want nobody coming at me saying that I definitely knew that they was manipulating Rotten Tomatoes. I just heard rumors. It's allegedly, I don't really know for a fact, but I did hear rumors that might be happening or that they might be manipulating certain type of critics. That's the rumor I heard, okay? And they upset that they can't manipulate the critical drinker or nerdrotic. What's that girl name? Snarky J. I'm sorry, I just lost my. I had it in my head, but I just couldn't say it. You know, they hate that. They hate it. They want to block these people big time, but they know that because they're trying to keep up this thing where we fair. We don't care if these people saying anything. Sure, you have your own opinion, and we respect that. No, they don't. They if they could, they would cancel them in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. Okay.
The general consensus is that the show seems to have sacrificed writing quality and smart characterization in favour of simplistic shock value and cheap political point scoring. In short, the writers have become more interested in getting their own personal ideology across and owning the chuds, rather than actually telling a good story. And well, that sort of strategy never really pays off. Naturally, I was curious to get the other side of the story, so I took a look at a recent interview with showrunner Eric Kripke in The Hollywood Reporter, and he...
Yeah, once they get, like I say, once they get rich, they don't care after that. Once they make that money, and they rich, and they can just, do other crappy projects, just like the guys that did Game of Thrones, because I tried watching this show on Netflix, the sci-fi, and I couldn't get through the second episode. So they leave a show that they probably hated anyway. They made that money, and then either they're going to change it or quit and go to another project, and nobody going to watch it. Because they thought they were great with this, so they figured they'd be great with everything. And that's not the case. But like I say, once they made that money, they don't care after that. They don't got the dedication to love something. Like J.K. Rowling, like George Lucas, they love their shows and their movies. They love them. That's why they can continue on and on with them, because they love them. George Lucas said, that's my baby. You know what I'm saying? That's the way I believe J.K. Rowling felt about Harry Potter and the world of Harry Potter. Okay, she loved all that. The games, the movies, now a show coming out. She loved it. Not with the original cast. You know what's up with that. But either way it goes. But these people, they don't seem to give a crap. And that's what I'm afraid of when it comes down to the X-Men 97. That they're going to, after a while, they're going to start doing their crap again. And then they're going to turn that show into something bad. And that's what happens. Once they start to get rich and then they start feeling like they are elites, then all of a sudden it's like they don't give a crap anymore. They don't give a crap about the audience.
He had this to say about accusations that the show had become too partisan. I clearly have a perspective, and I'm not shy about putting that perspective in the show. Anyone who wants to call the show woke or whatever, that's okay. Go watch something else. But I'm certainly not going to pull any punches or apologise for what we're doing. Some people who watch it think Homelander is the hero. What do
you see what I'm saying? That's what he started to realize, and that's what they started to realize. That people start to love Homelander and his attitude, and they couldn't have that, because I don't think they meant to him to be probably something like Trump or something, right? A bad guy, terrible, all that kind of stuff. You're supposed to hate him, but then when they start to realize a lot of the fans starting to really, really love that character, they were like, nah, we got to do something about that. But listen to the statement, man. It's telling you everything you need to know about these showrunners and all these people, what their intentions are.
What do you say to that? The show's many things, subtle isn't one of them, so if that's the message you're getting from it, I just throw up my hands.
Don't care.
You know, why do I feel like this is rapidly becoming a tale as old as time? A show gets popular and goes mainstream, the writers get a little too overconfident and think they can use it as a platform for their own personal hang-ups, the fans start to push back against them, and instead of taking that criticism on board and responding in a constructive manner, they just say, fuck it, go watch something else, you dicks. Kinda reminds me of this idiot.
Back in the good old days, man, they really, really, or at least they acted like they loved the fans, and they was appreciative. They had respect. Maybe deep down inside in their hearts, they hated the fans, but they didn't show it. They knew where their bread and butter was coming from, and so they continued to kiss the fans' butt, which they're supposed to do, because we are the ones that give you the money, and we don't like to get thrown under the bus, and at the same time give you our cash. It's crazy stuff, man. It's really, really crazy stuff. They're so arrogant now. So arrogant. They don't appreciate nothing. Nothing.
Idiot who did her level best to tank the American comic book industry and then had the balls to berate her own customers for not loving what she was doing.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book.
See? And that's what they say every time. Kathleen Kennedy, her, the other guy with the boys, all these shows. At the end of Game of Thrones, they basically told the fans to kiss their behinds. They don't care. Even the actors were disappointed. You know what I'm saying? Especially Amelia Clark and her character. She got built up so much to be a hero, and then they just crapped all over her. As soon as you start liking the character, they crap all over it. Remember the Bridgerton? All of a sudden, you was looking forward to this male, probably was a white man in this novel, right? Looking forward to this guy, so they decided to go ahead and kill that. Soon as they think you start to be happy with something that don't fit what they like, they kill it. They kill it off. I'm telling you, man, and they got this attitude. If you don't like it, go somewhere else. I wish they say that at the beginning of the first season, whenever they do something. When they first start. When they first start these comic books, when they first start these shows, when they first start the movie, I wish they say it then. When they first start. But they don't. They want your money. And then once they make enough money that they feel comfortable and thinking all these people are going to back them up, that's when they show their tail. And they don't care. This is how they really feel.
Right, well, that's me told. You girls enjoy yourself.
It's the entertainment equivalent of that asshole kid who takes his ball and flounces off home because everyone else won't play the game the way he wants them to. It's this weird narcissistic sense of entitlement amongst creatives these days that everyone should just unconditionally support and agree with you because you're such a paragon of wisdom that there's no possibility you could ever be wrong about anything. The problem, Eric, is that other people don't always think exactly the same way we do. They don't always share our beliefs, parrot our opinions, mirror our viewpoints on every topic, and that's okay because people are allowed to have different points of view.
Obviously you don't. You don't. Because like I said, they're gonna keep pushing this and keep pushing this. Because the people that they hire is not gonna just go away. The same thing happened to Disney. They hired so many of these activists, you can't get them out now. They ingrained in there. You can't get rid of them. And I think that's where a lot of these companies made a mistake. They put these people in these positions, and now it's very difficult to get them out. They supported all the crazy stuff they was doing, all the crazy things they said during interviews, all this stuff, and now they stuck. They stuck. Like I say, the showrunners for The Boys, they're good at what they do. They doing this mess on purpose. They ruin it on purpose, not because they're not talented. They're doing it on purpose.
Smart, humble, and creative writer finds ways to bridge the gap between all these different groups through the unifying concept of good storytelling. A bad writer, on the other hand, tries to hammer home his opinions on his audience with sheer brute force, and then gets angry and resentful when they push back against it. Yeah. I'll let you decide which one you used to be and which one you are now. Also, it's interesting watching the discourse around The Boys on social media, which I can best summarise as: The Boys used to be smart and fun, now it's all about pushing politics and nothing else. Yeah. Cry harder, chuds. Don't you know this show was always making fun of people like you?
Sheer fucking hubris.
Okay, let's get this over with. Yes, most people with functioning brain cells knew exactly what this show was and where its political sympathies lay. Nobody in their right mind looked at Homelander as a misunderstood hero that represented the voice of the masses. Nobody looked at Stormfront and thought, you know what, she's got a point there. Nobody clapped and cheered when the Deep forced himself on Starlight, and it's complete gaslighting to suggest otherwise. The show was never particularly subtle about its politics or what it expected its audience to take from it. The difference though is that for the first couple of seasons at least, it was actually fun and entertaining because the creative focus was still on the story and character.
Yeah, see, that's what I've been saying in all the videos that I do. If you can continue to entertain us, we can look over that crap. But they need us to embrace it. It's not satisfying until we embrace it and say they right. That's what they want to hear. You're ignorant, you're stupid until you agree with me. It's not enough just to watch our show. You got to embrace the message. And there you go, the message. You got to, just like you see all those people that like support it, which I'm personally don't believe they really like it, because when you come to find out that they don't really support these movies, because just them alone, they lose money. But they want you like that. They want you like, you just blind and goofy and just, oh, I love this show and I think it's fantastic and it can't go wrong and we can't criticize it and all this other stuff and all this other crap. That's how they want you to be. They want you kissing their butt instead of them kissing ours. Look, we can move on. When they say, watch something else, but then they get mad when you do watch something else. They get pissed and then they start calling you like racist and, oh, you hate women and all this other stuff because they mad about it. They pissed. They don't mean watch something else. They really want you to watch their show. They just say that because they mad because you're criticizing them and they don't like it. So they want to push back in a certain way. Don't get me wrong. Nobody like to be criticized. You know, I've been watching critics for years, man. And you see directors getting pissed off and all that kind of stuff. It's a natural reaction. I do understand them getting mad about it. But it's how they react afterwards. You know what I mean? You could just say, I disagree with them. I had a vision, and if they don't like it, you know, it is what it is, you know. But you would think if you want people to continue to watch your show, you would listen to the people. And we ain't the kind of critics back in the day where they didn't give a crap. They just, like these newspapers, and they had these shows where these critics would like criticize you, and then they went out and had a glass of wine. They didn't think about you afterwards. But the critics that's on YouTube and like the critical drinker, they love the characters, they love the shows, they love the comic books, they love it. And the only reason why they criticizing it because they just want you to make it better because they do love it. They're not like them other critics that don't give a crap. Those critics just understand how a story's supposed to be told and if it's entertaining. After that, they don't care. After that, they don't care how you write these shows or whatever. They could care less. And at the same time, they can be manipulated too. We learned that one. But I'm just saying they don't like YouTube, the people on YouTube, because can't manipulate most people, and plus they love these characters and they can't love a show that it's not good. You just can't do it. There's not enough fandom that you have to want to love a show that much.
And believe it or not, people can be surprisingly receptive to your political ideas when they're smartly presented and wrapped up inside an entertaining product.
Yeah.
People can empathize with characters that embody ideas they don't normally support, as long as those characters are well written and likable. People are even capable of laughing at themselves when you point out the more absurd or extreme elements of their worldview, provided you do it in a way that's actually funny and insightful. In each of these cases, though, the primary focus should always be on entertaining your audience instead of lecturing or pandering to them, and I think this is where The Boys has finally come unstuck. The more strident and blatant your messaging becomes, the less entertained people are going to be, and the more of your audience you end up pushing away.
And they shouldn't let these people do interviews, for crying out loud. They out there just saying all kind of crazy stuff. It's like they publicists or anybody else just don't talk to them. They look, don't say nothing crazy out of the way. Just don't say anything. These are your fans. Whether you like them or not, they the ones going to keep you employed. Don't say anything about them. Don't say nothing. Just continue on. Even if they don't like the product, don't insult the audience. But they can't help themselves. They like got to do it. It's like, what's that girl name? Whatever her name, Amanda Stern Hein or whatever her freaking name is. I don't know. Whatever. You know, making that creepy video. I'm saying, man, it's like they don't listen to their PR people. Or then again, maybe they supposed to say these things. Who knows?
Instead of uniting them with entertainment, you end up dividing and alienating them with politics. And well, I hope it was all worth it, Eric. I hope it was worth tanking your franchise, tarnishing your legacy, and turning your own customers against you, all for the sake of some cheap political theatre that's going to be forgotten as soon as your show's over. I hope all those pats on the back that you and your fellow writers have given yourselves make you feel better when the show inevitably gets cancelled. And no, I don't think I will be watching season 4 of The Boys after all. Quite frankly, I've got better things to do, and I suspect you do as well. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now.
All right, love these guys. Not only are they funny, but they make perfect points. Now, I just want to say this. Nobody want The Boys to fail. Nobody want Disney to fail. Except it seems the people that's making this stuff. They seem to don't care. And do you wonder why they even tried to do these shows in the first place? Because it seems like they don't care about these characters. They don't care about the shows. And yet they keep just swarming in. As soon as they find out that you love something, they just swarm on in. They don't give a crap about Luke Skywalker. They don't care about a Homelander. They don't care about none of this stuff, man. All they looking at is they can make some money off it, but they just can't keep it up because they don't like it. They don't like the characters. They don't like the shows. They don't like the audiences. They don't care. They just want to make their money and then show their tail. I'm an elite now. I don't care what you think. You are beneath me. with this stupid show. Watch something else. They get the attitude, man. They just get crazy with it. Crazy with power. Drunk with power, as they say, right? They never loved it. And he was hoping that the guy that did this show loved it because it was great. I mean, I'm watching it now. It's great. It's just a shame, man. People used to really, really want you to like their shows. They really wanted respect. They really, really wanted to go out in a blaze of glory. I don't know these people, man. They just don't care. They don't care. I don't know if they ever did. It was just to make money, just to get you hooked so they can change something. Like I said, man, you know, it happened to the men, and the women didn't care at first until they stopped messing with their projects. Now they pissed. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe when they start complaining, maybe then they might start, you know what, let's go back to the old formula and try to just entertain people and leave it at that. We might slip in a couple of messages here and there, but in the end, we want people to keep coming back and we want people to enjoy themselves, because part of the experience is watching somebody that made the show that you love so much talk about the show like they like it, and say things like, I hope the fans are enjoying this show because we got more to show them. You know, that enthusiasm, that excitement. No, they're busy telling you, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. And then they get mad when you do. All right, I really appreciate all of you coming by. Thanks again. This is T, and peace.